they're like, I donate. I give it to charity. I give it to the churches. Like, nah, what you talking about? There's a box at the end of my block that I always drop it to. So I don't know what you're talking about. That's not me. This video is about positive obsession. Hey everyone, I am Devon, founder of Positive Obsession. And what is positive obsession? I get that question all the time. They're like, didn't she work at BET or styling or something? What the hell is positive obsession? And why is she always talking about the earth? Yeah, these are the reactions that I always get. Hopefully this video will give you a little insight on exactly what positive obsession is. What began as my own personal love for creativity and fashion and just self-expression led to people wanting to know where I shopped and where I found the unique, specific pieces that I wore. And with all the questions and the Instagram messages like, where did you even find that? I realized just how much information I had to give. I didn't even realize it was something that I had. 8 years ago, I became a thrift stylist. Thrift stylist, I guess is the name for it now. But at the time, I was just doing what I loved, thrifting and dressing people up. I've styled celebrities. I've styled people for their weddings. I've done parties, any event that you can think of, I've styled for. And it really grew and grew. People began to ask me about my style advice and wanted to know the ins and outs of this thrift world. So from having this one-on-one thrift experience with a client, I began to coordinate and facilitate thrifting events. I partnered with Housing Works, Fashion Week Brooklyn. Names are kind of escaping me right now, but with most thrift events that catered to showing alternative ways to shop. Through working in media and also owning my vintage online boutique, I saw my fair share of wastefulness, whether it's large companies pumping out and producing clothing to try to feed the need of the consumer and rapidly changing seasons. So much waste. So much waste. So I dug deeper. And what I found was that the fashion industry is the second industry highest in pollution. The second, y'all. That's huge. I know that this may seem a little hard to kind of fathom or wrap your mind around. Let me give you some more stats. Every one of us Americans, throw away 80 pounds of clothing a year. More than 15 million tons of textile is being thrown out each year in the U.S. 15 million tons. This wasn't what our ancestors experienced, right? Like, my grandmother had 2 shoes. One for school and one for church. And I know that's not the same reality for Americans, but it's insane how much these large corporations are just pumping and pumping clothing out of what we think are machines. We can go on and on about fast fashion and what it's doing to our minds and our pockets and the earth, of course. When I say it to people, they're like, what you talking about? It's the textiles and the materials that we're not thinking about. We're throwing away shirts that may have yellow stains under their arms, those sheets that maybe you've had for a long time, or dirty socks. It could even be shower curtains that we no longer use, and we just throw them away. All those things, those fabrics, those materials are laying in a landfill with nothing to do but clog up our ecosystem and eventually suffocate us. So I was like, we don't make better decisions in how we consume and buy and shop, then we won't have a place much longer to live and eat and breathe. It sounds drastic, traumatic, and even a little crazy, but it's serious. How we consume now is that we're spending less and buying more. And the truth of the matter is we learn in pop culture and songs and movies, advertisements, that it's all about popping the newest this and rocking the newest that. and it's about quantity, not quality. So, where exactly does it end up? It's crazy. We don't ask where it comes from, and we don't care where it goes. What saddened me about the statistics were that this is not a new issue. This is not an issue of 2018, but I can think of songs and cartoons and shows about recycling paper, plastic, or making sure you don't litter. I remember Captain Planet and Magic School Bus and all these shows that we watched as children that taught us about the earth and what was important and how to keep it clean and how to do our part in our homes, whether it was, turning off the shower while we were soaping up, or maybe that was a Caribbean thing. But I've never ever seen any programming, classes, conversations, community meetups about the issue of our clothes. And I had been thinking about what the name to this movement could be. Randomly in the house, I just looked over at my vision board from 2017, and in the top left corner read positive obsession. And I looked at it and I knew instantly that that was it. How do we get our friends and family, our community, our world to obsess positively? Obsession will be a place. Positive Positive obsession will be a place where Brooklyn will stop disrespecting me. A movement to spread awareness about textile waste, and also like shift our thoughts around how we buy, where we buy. And it's so important to our everyday lives, and positive obsession exists to start this conversation. It exists to connect us back to the earth and where we come from. It's about sustainability, it's about accountability, it's about community, it's about conversation, it's about life or death, to be very honest. I think it's an important conversation that we all need to be a part of. And there's hella ways to be sustainable. Like, it's not all about buying expensive fashion brands. It's about upcycling, recreating, reconstructing the things that you already have. It's about swapping and loaning and renting. Recently, I sent a box of clothes to my homegirl. She loved them. There were pieces that I had not worn in a while. She was like, she didn't feel like going shopping, and I probably had something dope. I sent it to her, and she got a box coming to me. And let me tell you, it's gonna be Christmas. And that builds community and builds memories and stories.